Here's your podcast script. So here's a story that might change how you think about your next weekend getaway. It comes from the New York Times, and the headline is, Bed and Breakfasts versus Airbnb. Picture this: you book what you think is a quiet, private rental, you show up, and someone's already there. That's exactly what was happening to Raymond and Jason Lazaro, who opened Kenwood Gables Boutique B&B in St. Petersburg, Florida, back in 2019. Guests kept walking in expecting to have the whole place to themselves because they thought they'd booked an Airbnb. And that confusion, it turns out, is a much bigger problem than just a few awkward doorstep moments. Here's the root of it: Airbnb was actually founded in 2007 as Airbed and Breakfast. The name borrowed directly from traditional bed and breakfast culture, but vacation rentals don't typically include meals at all. And over time, the term Airbnb has basically become a catch-all in everyday language for any kind of short-term lodging. As one innkeeper put it, people now refer to almost any property as an Airbnb, whether it is one or not. For the owners of actual, traditional bed and breakfasts, that word problem is just the beginning. The bigger challenge is competition. Bridget Johnson, who runs the 13-room Oakwood Inn in northern Iowa's Great Lakes region, says there are 590 short-term rentals packed into a 10-by-6-mile area around her property. 590. Her job, she says, is convincing couples that they don't need to rent an entire house for a getaway, that her inn can offer the same experience, sometimes for even less money. So what do traditional B&Bs actually have going for them? Quite a lot, it turns out. For one, the price you see is usually the price you paid. Breakfast is included, there are no cleaning fees tacked on at checkout, and nobody's going to ask you to take out the trash before you leave. Many inns also come with things that no app can really replicate: unique architecture, one-of-a-kind decor, and an innkeeper who actually knows the area. We're talking curated local restaurant reservations, private distillery tours, complimentary yoga classes, pillow menus, daily wine receptions, real, human hospitality. At the Stewart Inn in Wausau, Wisconsin, a 5-room property inside a 1906 arts and crafts mansion, owner Randall Banks serves a hot breakfast, with vegan options, and says 5 out of 7 mornings he's up and cooking before 8:30 because guests asked him to start early. That's not an algorithm. That's a person. Matthew Robinson, who runs the Swift House Inn in Middlebury, Vermont, summed it up well. He said, "In a world where you scan your own groceries and QR codes for menus, I think people want to be taken care of." And apparently, even Airbnb has noticed. Last year, the platform started letting travelers book add-on services like massages, personal training, and catering alongside their rentals. Now, rather than fighting the platforms, many B&B owners have decided to join them. Some list their rooms directly on Airbnb and Booking.com, and they say the side-by-side comparison actually works in their favor. When guests can see everything laid out next to a standard vacation rental, the value of included breakfast, no hidden fees, and genuine service stands out. The industry is also evolving in other ways. Remote check-in options have eliminated the old rigid 4 to 6 p.m. check-in window that many guests found inconvenient. And some inns have moved away from the bed and breakfast label entirely. The California Association of Bed and Breakfast Inns recently rebranded as Boutique Hotels of California, because that's simply what more travelers are searching for online. The design side is changing too. Gone are the doilies and the Hummel figurines. Today's B&Bs are leaning into statement wallpaper, locally crafted furniture, contemporary finishes, intimate and characterful, but not fussy. As one hotelier described his properties, think a wealthy grandma's summer home. Just, not the grandma with the china hutch. The bottom line here is that the traditional bed and breakfast is very much alive. It's just had to get a lot more intentional about telling its own story, in a world where Airbnb wrote the first chapter. That's the story from the New York Times, a reminder that sometimes the most personal experience is still the most valuable one. Approximate read time, 4 minutes.